Hi everyone, welcome back to Regular Magazine. I'm Jason, and in today's video, we're diving into one of the most fun, chaotic, and beginner-friendly war games out there, Gaslands. If you've ever wanted to turn a toy car into a death machine and crush them across a dusty wasteland, then this is the game for you. If you're new to tabletop gaming and looking for a way to sort of dip your toes into the hobby without breaking the bank or being overwhelmed by rules, Gaslands might be the perfect starting point. Published by Osprey Games, Gaslands is a post-apocalyptic vehicular combat game that lets you race, crash and blast your way to glory, all using cheap toy cars and a handful of dice. So let's break down the 5 reasons why Gaslands is a great war game for beginners. It's extremely affordable. One of the biggest barriers to entry for any wargaming is generally cost. Between miniatures, terrain, rulebooks, and getting started can easily run into hundreds of pounds or dollars. Gaslands kind of sidesteps all of that, because all you need is a copy of the rulebook. In the UK, that's around £15–20, maybe a little bit more. Some toy cars, sort of Hot Wheels or Matchbox in scale to 1/64 die casts, a few templates, dice, counters, many of which you can actually download and make for yourself, and some terrain. You can literally start playing for the price of a takeaway. And because players can often customize and convert their own cars, you get to flex your creativity without the pressure of expensive modeling. So reason number 2 is simple rules, but with very deep gameplay. Gaslands strikes a perfect balance between accessibility and tactical depth. The core rules are pretty easy to learn. Movement is template based. Shooting and collisions are resolved with standard 6-sided dice, and vehicle stats are pretty simple. But beneath the simplicity is a surprisingly rich tactical game. You'll need to manage speed, gear shifts, positioning, all while predicting your opponent's moves. Now, it's easy to teach, but it's pretty hard to master. The ideal combination for beginners who still want the room to grow. Reason number 3, creative modelling opportunities. One of the best parts of Gaslands is the modelling. You can pick up a car in the UK for about £1.50. Glue on some scrap plastic, add a bit of wire, and boom, you're into the post-apocalyptic road warrior. Customizing toy cars into post-apocalyptic death machines is half the fun. Whether you're gluing on plasticard armor, sticking on bits from an old model kit, or painting rust effects, the Gasland gives you a low-stakes way to experiment with modeling techniques. Because the base models are cheap, there's no fear of ruining an expensive miniature. It's also a great way to get kids or friends into the hobby side of the wargaming without the intimidation factor of a massive army or historical accuracy, painting, and all the rest of it that goes with it. It's a really fantastic, low-pressure way to learn the hobby techniques or just have some fun making something that's uniquely yours. So, number 4, it's fast, fun, and it's cinematic gameplay. Now, every game of Gaslands feels like a scene straight out of Mad Max or Death Race. Vehicles skid, crash, and explode in a chaotic fashion, often with hilarious results. Games are really fast-paced, and they usually wrap up in an hour, making it easy to fit multiple matches or games into a single gaming night. The cinematic nature of the action keeps everyone engaged, whether they're racing for first place or trying to ram the opponent off a track. The next reason, Gaslands is a really welcoming and creative community. The Gaslands community is one of the most supportive and imaginative around, from the official Facebook groups to the hobby forums and Discord servers. Players are constantly sharing car builds, home rules, and scenario ideas. This open DIY spirit makes it easy for newcomers to find advice and inspiration. The creator himself actively encourages hacking the rules and inventing new content, reinforcing that Gaslands is a sandbox for creativity, not a rigid tournament system. So, there you have it. 5 good reasons why Gaslands is an awesome starting point for any new wargamer. Gaslands is more than just a game about cars blowing each other up. It's the perfect introduction to everything that wargaming can be: creative, social, and endlessly fun. Whether you're painting your first miniature, teaching friends to play, or just want something quick and chaotic for a game night, Gasland proves that you don't need an army of miniatures or a huge budget to enjoy the hobby. It's cheap, it's creative, it's fast, and it's full of glorious mayhem. If you ever wanted to jump into the hobby but didn't know where to start, then grabbing some toy cars and hitting the wasteland and playing Gaslands is probably the perfect way to jump in. For me, I really like Gaslands. It's the fact that you can get a miniature car, whack some bits on it, repaint it, and you've got something to delve into, sort of the Mad Max sort of post-apocalyptic landscape. And it's really cheap. Matchbox cars and Hot Wheel cars, which are the two predominantly popular die-cast cars to purchase for Gaslands, generally in the UK cost around anywhere between £1.50 to about £2.50, depending on where you buy them. So in the US, it's a kind of a similar price point as well. So picking up the actual cars is really cheap. Then you can buy bits, or you can pick up old bits of model kits and things like that. Just scrap from household bits and pieces to sort of bodge onto your cars to make them sort of look sort of like they've got guns and whatever bits and pieces. And you can buy you can get this wire mesh sort of stuff where you can literally use that cardboard that looks corrugated and painted up into metal and rust effects on it, and suddenly you've got one of those corrugated iron sheets being used as armor. So there's plenty of scope for kit bashing. So for anyone that's into kit bashing that's already a hobbyist, this is a great game to sort of jump in and try. But for beginners, it's a really good one because it's quite cost effective. The most expensive aspect of it is going to be your rule book. And if you're doing that between a couple of you, then you can do the shared costs over the rule book. Your cars are pretty cheap. Getting some bits and pieces of to glue on to give the impression of extra armor and weapons. I mean, you can get bits of scrap plastic and bits and pieces from around the household. You don't need model kits if you don't have them to hand. And then you can paint them. So you don't need a huge amount of paint to get away with. You could just do with some basic colors, repaint them, or you don't even have to repaint them. You could literally get some dull varnish, matte varnish, and just matte varnish over the top, and then add some washes or something like that, just to sort of dirty them up a bit, and use the paint scheme they've already got, but sort of matte it down a bit with the matte varnish. So there's plenty of ways and means to get these from this state to this state, and they're not expensive compared to, say, picking up a 28mm army and painting it up and getting it ready for the tabletop. Anyway, that's all for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.